What's up? What's up?
What up, yo?
All right. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Menswear Mastermind. So let's keep this. So, and let us know where you're tapping in from.
What's good in the
And
A, man?
you said what?
What's good in the A?
Um, Same old, same old. Getting better and better. Working on things.
So,
What's going on in DC?
hey, man, trying to keep up with this ever-changing weather. One day it's nice, next day it's chilly. So, trying to figure out this month, but
Gotcha, gotcha.
it'll be fun.
How's the week been?
It's been all right, man. It's the last week of Ramadan, man. So, you know, it's been an amazing month, challenging at times, but hey, we got through it. One more week to go.
Recording.
How about you? Oh,
I'm working. I'll come out in a second. Okay. Um.
Unc chopping it up over there, huh?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Uh, well, I'm glad to hear that. How's the family been navigating through the experience of Ramadan? Is this the first
Hey,
time that
man.
you guys have done it together?
No, 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 not at all. It's just a matter of um, every year is different, right? The rotation is different. Different things is happening externally outside of the family that impacts everything, right?
Okay.
Um, and so we just staying prayerful, man, and leaning on each other, leaning on the culture, leaning on the community. How about you and
Okay.
the A? What's going on with the fam?
Just folks being folks, growing, learning, developing, all that great stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just been a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Vlad is hopping on. I don't know um, if we're gonna have some folks on. But if you guys have any questions or comments or would like to for us to talk about anything, we're happy to. And we got 10 minutes.
So, what do you
And
can see on your side, Mike? As far as like, uh, so whether it's Facebook or Instagram, do you have any on all
so,
three platforms? What are we seeing? Like, any
um,
comments? Are you logged in?
yeah, no comments yet, but that's usually how it happens to about 8:15, and then we start seeing an influx of folks asking for questions and all types of stuff. So
That's true. That's true.
um, if we have any questions, we'll hop on, and if not, understand. And
What's the weather like down there? Like, how are you adjusting to the weather, gear wise?
weather's been pretty much what we would expect it to be in the spring. Is cool in the morning, warm in the afternoon. So I have now actually after yesterday it was just like I'll just dress for the afternoon. We're in our
Hmm.
car for way too long for it to make sense for me to dress any other type of way. It's just for the afternoon.
That's what's up.
Yeah, no questions, guys. No, I'm shocked this month or this week. We have no questions, and then we're gonna have questions at the end. I guarantee it. It's just how it plays out. And then you're gonna be
Yeah, it's
mad
interesting.
because we can't
Yeah.
answer the questions fast. I mean, we have to answer the questions fast. So ask your questions. I'm telling you guys now, ask your questions so we can make sure we get them answered. Style Jumper, do you have any questions that you've been thinking about? We can.
We can talk about. So it's being spring. What are Michaels? What are some fabrics you recommend as we head into spring, or at least a look or transition going from the end of winter into spring? What do you recommend as far as the layering? What do you recommend as far as even the color? What are you thinking these days?
Um, I would say like it's been an interesting dynamic because with spring and then fall, there are two transitional seasons. So it's not really something that I think a lot of guys really recognize, and this is more for the guys who've already started building their wardrobe, that you need a that transitional mid everything. You need a mid weight, you need a mid color, and then or middle type of color, and you need a middle ground as far as like how things need to maneuver. um, if you're just getting started, I would tell you this is a great time for like you to pull out your worsteds. Your This is a great time for you to pull out blends. So like wool silk blends, wool silk linen blends. This is a great time for you to pull out twills if you have like if you're starting to extend your wardrobe. Like I love wearing my cavalry twill blazer. Right now, I'm about to have a suit made in Calvary twill that will be kind of in the transitional periods. Um,
Well,
and
someone who doesn't know what a twill like, what does that look like? Sometimes people are visual. So, can you give a description of what a twill would look like, or weight wise? Is it heavy? Is it thin? Is it
twill is
what would you
if
describe
you
it
look
to
at
someone?
denim, denim is a twill. So it's just a diagonal. It's a diagonal weave. It can be heavy. It can be light. It can be pronounced. It can be very subtle. So there's that there. I did just get a question. Then I would love to hear from you, Style Jumper. So Signature Photo 730 said, "Do y'all think that fashion is influencing the modern world, especially well dressed folks? What are your thoughts on that?" And then I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Can you repeat the question?
Do y'all think that fashion is influencing the modern world, especially well dressed folks?
Mm. I think well dressed folks have an understanding of fashion versus, I guess, to answer the question, yes and no. I think those who are well dressed, they have a good understanding of it, so they're not really focused on the world. The world is a lot of times they're focused on the person who's well dressed, and the whoever's interpretation of what well dressed is really the question. What are their lens, and what do they believe is well dressed? So
Mhm.
it really depends on the person, their perspective and their influence to determine like how they're influenced, and also geographically. To your point, it could be around the world. I think some markets influence others, and I think sometimes um, seasons influence people as well, based on and colors and things of that nature that influence the world in the season we're at. What do you think?
Um, Funny enough, I think that now fashion is not influencing the modern world. The modern world is influencing fashion, um, and that's what I've been seeing as of late from a fashion standpoint. But even in the quote unquote tutorial space that I found myself heavily in, now more than ever, we're seeing that the social element of like social media and the influence of what people are talking about is influencing every aspect of the industry. And this is because you can do your market research in real time. I can determine what's going to sell based off of what I'm seeing on social media. So I think in that regard, it's influencing fashion and what's trending and all those other things. And this is why it's super important for you to be the most for you to figure out what works for you. Then you can ride the trends that work for you. Those can be the benefits to you. Where, for instance, right now everybody's buying green like crazy. Like, that's been trending for the last 4 years. So if green is in your color palette, it's a great time to go out and look for whatever version of green that you're looking at because there's everything from sage to forest. But yeah, I would say that that's what's influencing fashion. So Taylor Ball, what's going on? Um, we got another question from our man Mark. Key said, "Evening, gents. Thoughts on Mandarin collars and how to style them." Sergeant, what's your thoughts?
I like Mandarin collar. It's an ancient look, so you can dress it up or down. Um, I like it more of a casual approach to it. Um, versus trying to dress it up too much. But it depends on what culture you come from because a Mandarin collar could very well be a part of a suit. If you're from East Asia, things of that nature, that influence is heavily strong with Mandarin. But I like it, especially in an all white. Like just a white Mandarin collar and some trousers, some leisure, maybe even depends on what my footwear want to be, but just wear it casually. I love that look. What about you, Mike?
I'm not a fan of it personally. It has started to find it started to become much more relevant because guys aren't dressing up anymore. We saw this in the '90s that guys were wearing Mandarin collars, so I think it's just making this resurgence. Interestingly enough, with a fuller cut garment, fuller cut trouser, and I think actually the Mandarin collar for the way that the rest of the jacket is put together, it actually needs a little bit more fullness. I've seen them tailored and tapered to the body, and it looks weird. Um,
Yeah, no.
so I think that that's part of the reason why I've been seeing it. I would say one of two things: either you need to wear it extremely casual, or you need to wear it with a very robust fabric, like light fabrics or fabrics that are really not flimsy, but they don't drape well. It it doesn't look it diminishes the prestige of the jacket and the casualness of the jacket because it doesn't look like it knows what to do. So like having a more structured jacket if you're gonna wear it is good. I differ a little bit from Style Jumper. I don't know that I would wear it casually as much. Like I'm not gonna throw it on with like a t-shirt under it, or like a pair of jeans just because I feel like it diminishes the look. But I would throw it on no tie. If I wanted to dress it up, I wouldn't be against somebody throwing a bow tie on with it. But you got to be very strategic with that because otherwise it'll look off. There's so many ways that you can not necessarily mess it up, but you can have some issues with it if you're not careful.
You bring
So
up a good point too, but and they'll also just kind of separate between a Mandarin collar jacket versus a Mandarin collar shirt.
right,
So, he said thoughts on Mandarin collars. So it just depends on, to your point, whether it's going to be, you know, a jacket versus a shirt. And then for me, Mandarin, I guess, is influential for me, or I see it so much because of the faith. So typically, that collared shirt is worn in every mosque in the world. You know what I mean? And so I see it so much; it's normal to me.
right.
So I think it's just a matter of you know how you rock it and what you're comfortable with. But your point exactly about it being a fitted shirt or even a fitted shirt or a fitted jacket in the Mandarin, I think it diminishes the beauty of the concept of the actual style itself.
Okay, yeah, 100. Signature photo 730 said the reason why I'm asking is because it's or the reason why I'm asking is because contrary to you guys' consistencies, others opt for a more fashionable approach. Again, I think that that's where you find yourself. It's interesting if you were to. So in this modern world, you have the opportunity to create silos for yourself, to create uh, um, aspects of exploration for yourself. It just kind of depends on how you want to create, create your life. Like more so than ever, this is the space where you literally can um, simulate your life. This is Sims in real life. I'm We're not gonna go off on this tangent, but this is why I hear people saying like this is all a simulation. Like this isn't real. And it's because for Signature Photo 730, if he is looking for men's fashion, that can be on his feed, and he may never have any awareness of sartorial style or um, customized style or any of these other dynamics of menswear or trad, ivy, um, outdoorsmen, classic Americana, French, Italian, Roman Italian versus Florentinian Italian, like right, all these different elements. And so you can have the access and never have the awareness. And so people will say like, oh man, everybody else is opting for fashion. And I'm like, on my feed, I have a lot, 95% of my feed when it comes to menswear is style driven for guys who have their own voice when it comes to personal style. So then it just kind of becomes, what do I look for? Do I look for sartorialism? Do I look up Spressatura and then start following those guys? Like, what do those elements look like? And then you'll start finding that a lot of guys aren't as fashionable, quote unquote, as you may think.
I like that. I think the only thing I'd add to that is because we are in a space of social media, there's so much influence with what people are seeing. And to your point, based on your feed and what you tap on will determine, pause, what you're going to see. You know what I mean? And so it just depends on, what those influences are and what you're
Mm-hmm.
going to is, individual or, to Mike's point, or style, context, the simulation.
Yeah.
So it depends on your influences. So if you're on YouTube, you were to ask a question, then post it on YouTube so that we can answer. So I can respond right now since Style Architects is um, having a side conversation real quick. Any questions that we can, so I can assist in asking or answering a question as well.
And guys, it's 8:23. And if you're interested in joining the Menswear Mastermind, a collective of classic, custom, and casual style, then by all means, feel free to join. You can go to patreon.com/menswear mastermind. We meet every Wednesday at 8:30, but we do give this shoot around here. And again, you guys get essentially free game that certain people pay thousands of dollars for. Three different perspectives that all are aligned with the same intention of you guys dressing well and making sure that you're showing up as the best version of yourself. So it is a dynamic where we talk about manhood, masculinity, we talk about marriage, fatherhood. I don't have kids yet, but and leadership, all these different elements. And so it's a great collective, and we are continuously growing. And so it's something to take advantage of. Any other questions?
So menswear match patreon.com/menswear mastermind is where you can find us. Patreon.com/menswear mastermind. Current cost $47 a month. If you were to decide to commit to 1 year, then you would get um, for free. So it's a great opportunity for you to do that. Commit. You're gonna also not just our voices, which is important. I want to share this before we switch off. Is the gentleman that's in the Menswear Mastermind, their personal experiences, their influences, their stories, those things that it impacts the entire group. So we share, and it's a space that we know that men need spaces where they can speak freely, where they can learn and not be judged, and also get clarity on a better sense of self, a better sense of style, and whether you're a single gentleman or you're someone with married for multiple years and multiple children, we cover the gambit, and and that's what really makes Menswear Mastermind very impactful. And with
Yep.
that, fellas, we'll see you next week.
All right,
You got another
guys.
question?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
See you next week. Peace.
Peace.